Today we are going to see about data flow diagram. One of the diagram that depicts a system other than UML diagrams are data flow diagram. The basic elements of data flow diagram are shown. There are two types of symbols that can be used on datagram. One is a rectangle and one is oval shape. Both are representing a process or a system as a whole. There is a connection between the process by data flow that is shown with an arrow, solid line with an arrow. Then there is data store, which is used as database with rectangle, and database number which is mentioned on it with its name. And fourth element of data flow diagram is external entity. So these are the entity and the names of the entity which are communicating with your process or system are mentioned here in entity. But for creating data flow diagram, we need to follow some general steps. We create a context diagram, the basic diagram that is called as a base level diagram, which is called as a context diagram in DFD. Here we identify use cases, that is the ways in which user communicate with the system, and create a DFD fragments for each use case. First, we create level 0 from context diagram, and then we decompose it to level 1 and 2 and go to step 1 to revise as necessary and validate whether DFDs with user. So here this diagram shows a context diagram wherein information system is your system at context level 0, and entities which are connected to that system is shown as a whole. To move towards next level, that is level 0 of DFD, here the system is divided into number of processes, that basic processes that you will have, and the entities which are connected to it, and the databases. So your database D1 and the data store name is given. To move towards next level, that is level 1, we have to select one of the process from this level 0 and then fragment this level 2 in subparts as 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. We cannot have, when we move from one level to other level, we cannot distribute all the processes all together in the next level. We have to select only one process at a time and divide its functions. Then for level 2, again we select one of the process from level 1 and divide it and distribute the actions that are performed between these processes. The rules for context diagram, there is one process only in the context diagram. It's mentioned as process 0. It has its sources, that is inputs, and sinks as output. Main data flow is depicted here, and they are inside the internal data stores are not mentioned in the context diagram. They are inside the system. External data stores can be shown in as an external entities for context diagram. For decomposition, you use one process that is called as a parent process, and what you derive from it are called as a child process. Then further, these child process can be decomposed into its child processes. When you decompose parent process to one child process, you should know that it should have more than two or more child processes of parent process. What is incorrect in drawing the DFD is that any DFD cannot have only output. Any DFD cannot have only input. The balance, this is called as the unbalanced DFD. So you should have a balance for DFD wherein input is provided, then the output is given out in it to the process. Rules for data store. The data stores are nothing but the databases. So database, we cannot move directly from one data store to another data store. There cannot be communication between data directly from outside store to data store or from outside sync to data store. Okay, that is depicted here. We cannot have database to database connection. We cannot have entity to database connection, or the output from the external entity directly to database, or database to directly to external output. We need to have a process in between connection between database, entity to database, and database to entity. There are two types of strategies to develop DFD. Either you can start with the context level and then keep on dividing your processes, that is called as top-down strategy, or you can follow bottom-up strategy wherein you draw a DFD for your complete whole system in detail and then move one level up so that you come to know how many levels of the system can be developed. This is an example of a college automation system. You can see there are three entities: student, admin, and staff, connected to a system as college automation system. Each entity has its input from the system and has the output to the system. Okay. This is level 0, wherein this system level 0, the process is divided as student detail processing, staff detail processing, and admin system. Entity admin is connected to admin system, student entity is connected to student system, and staff entity is connected to staff system. Each has its own database file D1, D2, D3. Only mistake here in this diagram is that admin has no inflow. There cannot be any entity which doesn't have any inflow. Okay, so here there should be a connection from admin system to admin. Level 1 admin system, here the students database to the system is divided into subparts as 1.1, 1.2, that is add update department details and fee structure for student. Each has its department database, that is D1 and D2, student attendance as D3, which is one connected to 1.3 process as student attendance processing. So this is how you can increment each level at a time for each process at a time in each level, and you can decide the number of levels that you can have in your system accordingly. This is level 2, which is divided for attendance processing system. You have a student attendance 1.3.1, calculate percentage, update, prepare, and its databases are connected. The entities that are connected to this are admin and student. Thank you.